Hello, and welcome to the Elite Lizzard Publishing Company podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about crafting the high quality book you've been dreaming of. Okay, so welcome. So let's dive into it. So whether you're a seasoned author or someone who is just starting to explore the world of storytelling, this episode is definitely for you. So we're going to be talking about forming ideas, taking that initial spark of inspiration and turning it into a well-crafted book. So grab a notebook if you want, because by the end of this episode, there will be some actionable steps that you can make for your next book and make it the best it can be. So let's start with the birth of an idea. Every good book starts with a single idea, the spark of inspiration that ignites your imagination. It could be a what if question, an image that flashes into your mind, or it could even be a theme that you feel compelled to explore. So, for example, J.K. Rowling was famous for coming up with her idea, Harry Potter, and it happened on the train. And she didn't know the whole world of Hogwarts, but she just knew that the image of a boy was going to be a wizard, and that was the seed. So my tip for you is to really allow yourself to dream, to daydream. Let your mind wander and capture every idea, no matter how small it seems. Because ideas come from daily life, nature, memories, even a dream you've had. So keep a notebook close by, or a digital app that you can jot down thoughts as they come to you, because it's very important as you're creating in that process. You need to put all these ideas down, and then you can really see, like, do I want to branch on these ideas, or would I like to just let them go? So this is how you create initially from an idea. So now we're going to expand on that idea. So once you have that idea, let's develop it into a concept. So a concept is basically what the book will be about, and it's in a broader sense, and how the story is going to unfold. For example, the initial ideas of my book that's coming out soon, Citrus of Oz, it's a sci-fi based on retelling the Wizard of Oz on another planet, and kind of doing a lot of twists and stuff. And the idea came from characters like a robotic dog or a cyborg companion, a dangerous alien army, and on and on. So if you can take an idea and make it your own, there's another way to really develop your own craft, because it's your unique story. And I have to say, there's a book that I encourage you all to read. It's called Steal Like an Artist. It has invaluable information on that. And basically what he says in the book is that everything has already been done. And it's really true. But it hasn't been done by you. So you bring a uniqueness and element to it that hasn't been thought of yet. And your style and the way that you put it is going to be uniquely your own. So a perfect example, like I said, Citrus of Oz is a sci-fi retelling of Wizard of Oz. So it's completely different. So a tip I could say is just like, ask yourself questions about the book. Like, what is this story going to be about? What are the themes and emotions that I want to explore? Who are the characters and what do they want? So you can make a list of plot points, conflicts and resolutions, and that will help you to keep the concept fresh in your mind by, basically putting it all down. So now that we have like the concept and we know what's going to happen, now we want to create a character in depth. Okay. So your character is basically the heart of the story. And I've touched on this on other podcasts, but I can't stress this enough. Well-developed characters, they draw in the reader and keep them interested. And if they have an emotional connection to them, that is even better. So think about the backgrounds that you want to create of this character, their motivations, their flaws, and their growth arcs throughout the book. So you want them to start off with an issue and basically be able to resolve it and grow as a character, just like in life. So I'd say a tip is to use character sketches to explore who your characters are. Give them goals, fears, strengths, and weaknesses. The more complex and real your character, the more you make it feel from yourself, the more you can make it come to life on your page, because you actually are creating an actual character from your head and having all those different flaws and details about what they look like and all that stuff. You can really make the character come to life. And that's why we get so attached to these movies that we watch. The characters are really a connection that we get attached to. Okay, so now we want to build a roadmap for our story. So we're going to take the idea and now start laying out a structure. So we have to figure out, is it going to be a traditional 3-act structure, or is it going to be something more experimental? So think about your character's start and where they need to go and what obstacles they're going to face. I can take an example from one of my books is Professor Puddles and the Magic Marble. The structure moves quickly because it's a children's book. You got to remember that. It takes place in India, and there's magical twists involving ancient statues, and there's rewards of magical marbles. And each section of the story, it serves a purpose, and it moves the plot forward, but it keeps the reader engaged. So you have to remember that too. If you want to write a children's book, you got to make it go quick, because you don't have a lot of words to really express what you need to say. So with a novel, you can really kind of like let it marinate in a way, and let those things organically come about as you move along in the story. So it just depends on what age group you're trying to target also. So you have to think of all these different elements. It's a lot, but I mean, once you get it going and you understand who your audience is too, that's very important. Then you can really start to build on your story. Now, world building. You need to craft a vivid world, right? So we need to have a book that transports readers into another world. Excuse me. So whether it's a whimsical fantasy type book or a romance or a gritty urban landscape, or the depths of despair even, the setting is as crucial as it is the people who are inhabiting it and going through it. So you have to consider to elaborate your environment to show details of what it looks like so they can get a view of it. So I would say when you're building your world, try and use the 5 senses. What do they see? What do they hear? What do they smell, feel, and taste? And those details will help your reader really feel like they're there with you. Okay? So now we have to do a theme. So a theme is a deeper message or moral question that your book is exploring. So often they emerge naturally. The character and the plot can be planned from the beginning, but a lot of the time, I find that it ends up going somewhere, and you're like, huh, I didn't really realize that that's where I was going. But so yeah, it can be organic, or it can be really well thought out and written from like top to bottom. Like, are you writing about friendship or betrayal, or like the human condition, or the power of hope, or self-esteem? Like, there's so many different things. Self-identity is another one too. There's so many different things that you can really base your book on that will really help you to keep the theme of your story moving along in the same in a smooth pattern. So as you're writing your first draft, I would keep asking yourself, what is this book really about? And the theme of the story's layers will help the reader connect on a deeper level. So you may not have to say it, but it'll be kind of hinted towards it, so the reader will understand. So now we have to revise our first draft, right? So we've written it all out, and I have to say, when you're writing your first book or your first draft, don't worry about spelling. Don't worry if the sentences are complete or concise. What your main goal is to just get it out. That's the whole thing. Like, it's very important just to get that book finished. There's so many people out there that start writing a book that never finish because of that problem. They keep going back. They keep checking all the errors. They keep checking their grammar. And so the book never ends up getting done. So please, 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 just write the book, okay? And now, once it's out, then you're going to revise it. So no book is perfect on the first try. Is impossible. So during the revision, you're going to look for inconsistencies in the plot, gaps in the character development, scenes that need to be cut or expanded. You might need to go through multiple rounds of edits, and I highly encourage multiple rounds of edits because you want to focus on different aspects of the editing each time. So that will help you to really perfect it better. Like, so character develop on one set, and then another, you're going to check the grammar, and then another, you're going to check the dialogue. Like, there's so many different things that you can check, but don't get too bogged out with it, because then you don't want to lose your voice either. I would consider asking beta readers to have a go at it, and let them look and see from a fresh perspective so that they can really catch things that you might have missed. Because I find that when you're staring at something for a long time, you miss stuff. And it's just automatic. The brain is just not getting bogged down with too many details, and you're missing things. So beta readers are awesome. And you want to stay motivated, okay? So writing a book is like a marathon. It's not a sprint. There's going to be moments of self-doubt. There's going to be times when you just can't even write anything. You're just staring at a blank page. But this is all part of the process. What you want to do is you want to manage writing goals. So if it's 500 words a day for 20 minutes each day, or a chapter a week, consistency is the key. So you want to celebrate those small victories along the way. And don't forget to take breaks to refresh your creativity. I highly advise writing for 20 minutes and then a 5-minute break. 20 minutes, 5-minute break. And then give yourself, after 4 times, give yourself a good half hour to just walk away from it. Because honestly, you get too involved and you start overthinking things, and it's not good. And even when it comes to editing, you got to take breaks because the words start to mesh together after a while. So you have to take the breaks, and you keep coming back to it with fresh eyes yourself, and it's very helpful. Pomodoro's method. I highly encourage you to look that up. So this is basically the whole map that you need to write a really good book, from taking the initial idea to a high quality piece of literature. And, every author is unique. Everybody has different ways of doing things. So it's important. The most important thing is to just write. Just write. The only way you can get better at something is to practice. And I always encourage that. A lot of people say, well, how did you get so good at it? It's because I practiced. I mean, you can have an initial talent, yes, but if you don't pursue it, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't go anywhere. It's the practicing and the consistency that makes you go places. Okay. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you got some helpful tips from that. And I will try and come back and do another podcast with you about something else regarding writing and or publishing even. So if you're interested, check out our website, theelitelizard.ca. And we have lots of different things you can look at about publishing on there as well. Have a great day.